Hello, welcome back to Down with Boring, the first normal show of 2025.
Depends how you found the Rockaway Beach live experience. If you found that normal, don't know what you've been listening to for the rest of the time. But...
No, but anyway, this is a normal show. We're going to give you some news, some tracks, an album, some internet nonsense, and we're also going to be speaking to jasmine.4.t.
Yes, amazing debut album that is out now. Go and listen to that. But listen to this first. I think that's the main crux of what we're trying to say is listen to this, then go listen. But you hear all about the album and much more. So stick around.
Please.
Stick around. Thanks to everyone who came to Rockaway Beach, witnessed the, some would say, greatness of Down with Boring Live.
The birth of a legend.
Thanks to Lime Garden and The Pill for joining us. A wonderful time. And
thank you to the sound guy at Rockaway who seems to live on top of a small building inside the Big Top.
He's there now.
He is.
He's there now.
He is. He lent us a memory stick.
It was great. And thanks to everyone who nicely reviewed our Dork DJ set at Rockaway Beach. Some say best set of the weekend. Some say, oh, wow, they're playing some absolute hits.
Yeah. Some people seemed incredibly disgusted at our decision to play the Viagra Boys.
Yes, including notable Six Music DJ name redacted.
Hey, he loved it.
Hey, yeah. Shout out Chris Hawkins. Shout out Chris Hawkins. There we go.
Yeah, he loved it. Anyway, enough about that. If you didn't come to Rockaway Beach and you want some sweet dork live experiences, we've got some good news for you, haven't we, Jamie?
Yeah, and bad news, because you missed out on Here Comes Your Jan, which was this week.
Doesn't matter, it's over, move on.
2 great back-to-back nights at the 100 Club, thanks to everyone who came. But we're on course for the Dork Hype List Tour, which is starting on the 1st of February. So this week, when this album...
Here comes your
When this album
comes out.
When this
project drops.
When we mixtape
hits datpiff.com. It will be out.
It's the only platform that will host it.
Yeah,
That's
the Mixtape Authority.
The
niche one for any fans of early American trap music there.
It's there. The Hype List Tour kicking off, February the 1st in Bristol. It's sold out. You can't go to that one. Sorry. But we're running through many cities all over the UK, including Leeds, Newcastle, Manchester, Glasgow, London, Southampton, which is also sold out. So you can't go to that one. But why not just go to Nottingham, where that's also happening the night after?
Yeah, although they're also all selling well.
They're all selling well.
We're recording this a couple of days before it goes live. We can't promise you there'll be tickets left.
So
buy one, I guess.
Yeah.
No one's more surprised than me that we've managed to put on a tour of bands people want to see. Okay? Don't blame me, all right?
Notable success there. Dive in, obviously headlined by the one and only Welly. Joined by special guest Polly Money, which is going to be really great. The Pill will be joining us in Bristol, London, Southampton and Nottingham. And Vincent's Last Summer joining us in Leeds, Newcastle, Manchester and Glasgow.
Allegedly, Lewis Capaldi was at Vincent's Last Summer a few days
and was
ago.
a fan. So
he stayed for the set.
He stayed.
That's all I know. No one asked whether he was a fan, but he didn't leave.
What a cutting, wonderful review. Come and see the Lewis Capaldi did not leave the venue approved.
How much money do you think Lewis Capaldi has?
I probably a very fair amount.
I think he's got a milli.
Maybe I would say like high 6 figures.
High 6 figures.
Yeah, I'd say in his bank account right now he's got maybe like 700 grand
in his bank account.
His bank account,
not even in an ISA or anything.
Unless he's investing.
Yeah.
Like if he's
I
bought
just
some
think like
shares
with that, I mean
crypto.
obviously that's small fry in the scheme of the billionaires of the world. But with that, it's kind of mad that like you'd be like, can I have £100? And they'd be like, no. Feels rude, doesn't it?
Yeah. Are you saying, I don't know though if you, I mean, surprisingly, myself and I presume yourself, Jake, have not ever had that amount of money sitting in your bank account. So I don't know how I would
not
act.
Since the late 90s at least.
Yeah.
Pre-financial collapse, I was riding high.
When you were
10-year-old
when you
me.
were
10-year-old me.
10-year-old you in the 90s, yeah.
Well, in the early 2000s. Pre-collapse. We're talking
Pre-collapse,
2005
okay.
maybe. But I invested it all in the Royal Bank of Scotland.
And that went well.
Yeah. And then I pulled all my money out of that before they got rescued, lost a lot, and invested the rest in Trump coin recently. So I need
thought
Lewis
it'll go
Capaldi to
well.
give me some money.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, Lewis, number one, go and see Vincent's last summer on tour.
Well, he's already seen them, so let's start with the money. And
Start with the money. Can we get your money
tell you
first?
what, if you give us both £100, mate, you can come for free to the Dork Hype List.
We'll
tour.
put you on the list.
We will.
I don't know if that offer stands across the board. If anyone just gives us £100, we'll put you on the guest list. Actually, yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, that does stand, especially at the non-sold out dates where you could just buy a ticket instead.
Tickets are £12.50, everybody. But if you want to give us £100, we'll put you on the guest list.
Exactly.
Deals. We'll do a meet and greet. Why not? Just us, not the bands.
And greet.
They're too highbrow for that now. I'm afraid.
They are. That's true.
Come
Anyway,
along, pick up a ticket. It's going to be great.
What else have we got, Jamie?
Coming up, it's worth mentioning. We've got obviously it's the first show of the year, so big year for festivals. Dork will be at Dot to Dot, which is taking over obviously Bristol and Nottingham towards the end of May. Go pick up a ticket. Great lineup. The Horrors playing. That'd be very nice. And Fat Dog.
The horrors of the 2020s, as they say.
Some would say. Also, tick along to Live at Leeds in the Park, where we will also be. We'll have a full stage. Full details to come.
Are we going to that?
You know what I mean? What's that?
Are we going to that?
I think we're going to that. I think we might be doing something there. Some fun.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that, but if not, we'll probably be there.
We'll probably be there anyway.
So if you wanted an opportunity to give us that £100,
you could do it there.
We'll be around.
Yeah, we do payment plans on the £100.
Yeah,
so
you can pay £100 now.
And then
go to
we'll remember it in May.
We will, exactly.
So that's one way of looking at it.
So yeah, all sorts happening. But all sorts has also been happening in music news not related to Dork Magazine.
That is true.
The Brits
have
announced their nominees.
Oh, we're
Jamie,
here.
you went along to see them being announced at somewhere.
Outernet. Yeah, in the centre of London.
Where, if anyone from the Brits committee is listening, Jamie, what was the bar situation?
Right, okay. We'll get into the actual nominations at some point, but this needs to be addressed. So, understand it's January, dry January, a big thing for everybody. Well done everyone who is doing dry January. Nice one.
I had 3 weeks and got really bored.
And that
was post Butlins too. So
yeah.
really.
It was already a disaster. At the I guess launch event, if you will, for the Brit Awards at the Outernet venue in London. No alcoholic drinks there. No beers, no wines, not even a little cheeky prosecco. It was a non-alcoholic bar. When I went over to the bar and be like, "Oh, got a beer or whatever," the look of disdain I was met with by the bar staff really made me just
to clarify as well,
question it
this
all.
isn't necessarily someone saying like, "Can I have a free drink?"
No, the bar is all free.
Someone being like, "Hello, can I pay for an alcoholic beverage?"
Yeah.
And they said, "Absolutely not." Also, Charlie XCX is up for loads of Brits. Just to let you know.
So I sipped on a a mocktail,
of course,
a pineapple,
also known as juice.
also just juice. And watched as nominations were announced. And yes, Charlie XCX is leading the way. 5 nominations. Kind of, I don't want to say expected, but it feels like that probably.
I think realistically, I mean, what people were kind of waiting was to see whether she was in with a chance of beating Ray's record, which she is not.
Yes.
Ray won 6, I believe. Is it 6?
Maybe 7.
Maybe 7. But anyway, more than the 5.
More than the 5
that Charlie's nominated for.
Yes.
So, as I think all of us can agree, bit of a shitter to only be nominated for 5 Brit Awards, isn't it? That's what I often think. God, can you imagine only being nominated for 5
Only
Brit Awards?
5 this time, I'm afraid. Also, I guess the big takeaways. Last Dinner Party, nominated for 4 awards. It's great to see. Ezra Collective, 4 nominations. Dua Lipa, also with... Wait for it. 4. So, yeah, good run. I think, to be fair, they've kind of... They've got it right, I feel, the awards this year.
Yeah,
not any glaring snubs.
I feel like with
what I'd
awards,
say.
and this goes across the board, this isn't
the Brits, yeah.
This isn't just the Brits. I think realistically, it's like, you know when you were at school and they did any kind of like, who read the best books when you're like 8?
Is it like the end of year sort of
that
awards,
kind of
where
thing.
it's like the
Like-
most, the hardest worker.
Yeah, you get one.
Yeah.
And I think of the Brits, the Oscars, the Grammys, all of those. If you've won one, you shouldn't be eligible for any more. Nominations, fine. If you've won one. And also, I think it should be the first one you win. So I think, like, for example, if you're making a film and you think that the lead actor is really, really good, you've got to make the costumes dog shit so you don't accidentally win that one and then make yourself ineligible.
This how award shows work?
This is how it should work.
According to you.
Yeah, so like at the Brits, for example, say like the first thing that comes up, I mean, what's Charlie nominated for?
Like Album of the Year.
Yeah.
I think Best Pop.
Yeah.
I believe Song of the Year also nominated.
Right, well, let's just say Best Pop comes up first.
A bunch. Yeah. Then ruled out.
When it comes to Best Album, she's out of there.
Right.
She's not in there anymore.
So she would have to sacrifice Album of the Year, maybe Artist of the Year.
Yeah.
If she wins, like, Best Pop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then towards the
end... It might make the awards, like, as they go along in the years interesting. If we end up with, like...
No, if you win...
people put out amazing stuff. Oh, you mean it would happen every year? You would be able to...
Yeah. It's just like, at the Brits, you can only win one Brit. Okay. Or at the Oscars, you can only win one Oscar. Because I don't think it would work at the moment, but I think it would be because at the moment, right? Realistically, this is all bollocks, right? We've made it all up. Like, there's, you know what I mean? There's no like legal
story
basis.
of this show.
No,
we made it all up. It's bollocks.
There's no scientific basis. We've all like the Brits are a group of people that went, we're going to give people little metal statues for being good at music.
That's a breakdown of the Brits, right?
And everyone
there,
went, okay, that's nice.
Music's
but if I did that, if I went into the street and said, I want to give Charlie XCX a small metal statue, she's not going to turn up. So we invest the Brits with meaning, is what I'm saying.
Right. Okay.
So if we change the rules,
you've tried to give
Brits,
little awards to people, and they've told you to fuck off on the street. That's true.
If we change the structure of the Brits,
right,
like the world will adapt to it, or it won't. So what I'm saying is, at the moment, they say genre is dead. You change the Brits, genre's alive again.
Right.
Because suddenly you actually got a chance to win if you make an album in a weird genre, right? Like if you're at the Grammys and you know that your album's never winning Best Rock, and you're like, fuck it, I'll put a tuba on there. Let's go for neoclassical. You know?
So do you like the Grammys? Obviously, is like there's hundreds of categories.
I love it. Yeah, I think it's great.
Huge amounts.
I think they should televise all of it.
Watch the one long show.
Yeah, because
what's 7 hours long.
Don't they do like an ad break and they're like, oh, in the break they gave like best jazz out.
Yeah.
You're literally like, oh, cheers. Best moment of that person's life.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. My mum and dad's watching. They're like, they're not because we're on the ad break. I'm afraid.
I think when the cameras aren't rolling, they chuck them out too.
They're like, have you got one yet? Okay,
just
fucking take that one. Yeah.
You know, like Oprah.
Can have that. Lots of great nominees.
Yeah,
so
that's what we can draw from this.
That's what we're taking. It'll be that'll take place on the 1st of March at London's O2 Arena.
Of course.
Of course, to celebrate that, we should probably listen to some Charlie XCX because she's nominated for 5 awards and leading the charge. This is 360 from the album Brat.
When you're in the mirror, do you like what you see? When you're in the mirror, you're just looking at me. I'm everywhere, I'm so Julia. That beat 666 with a princess streak. I'm everywhere, I'm so Julia. That city still sluts the vibe.
I've not heard of that album. Any good?
Yeah, it's all right.
What is it? Sort of wintry, autumn, spring kind of album?
Yeah, it's very stripped back.
Yeah,
very stripped back. Very, earnest in its tones.
Got some movies now, haven't we? Some films, some flicks.
Yeah, it's been, I guess, over the Christmas period, we've not really had a chance to chat about the release of 2 movie biopics. We had, Barbenheimer?
Yes.
And now we have Better Unknown. Not as good as
A Complete Man.
Complete Man. 2 music biopics going up today. And we have seen... Like us,
we've seen
one each, so we can give 2 opposing sides to this conversation. Jake, do you want to discuss? So you've seen
I've seen
the Bob Dylan movie.
Listeners may be shocked to hear that out of the 2, I've seen the Bob Dylan one and Jamie's seen the Robbie Williams one.
Yeah.
Not that I'm against Robbie. Robbie fan.
No, of course not.
I really enjoyed A Complete Unknown. I'm a massive Dylan fan. I really liked it. And I think there's been some criticisms from like weird Dylan fans, which are the same kind of criticisms that like Napoleon got.
Oh, the movie, not just the fella in general.
No, the movie.
Sure, we had some complaints.
People are like, that bit, like that didn't happen, or that happened, or that. And it's like you can read a book. You know?
Yeah. It's
Also,
quite known. It's quite known, isn't it? That story.
It's literally a film. It's not a documentary.
Yeah.
That's kind
And
of
also,
the
it's
difference, right?
it's around a certain period of Bob Dylan's life.
But no, I think my main issue with the Dylan fans who are like that is like you basically completely miss the point of the guy you're a fan of if you're like, oh, that's not actually how it happened. Because isn't this a man who for like literally his entire life has just been making shit up for fun?
Yeah, it's been quite.
Which surely, if you like Dylan, you're kind of there like,
that's
funny,
the game. That's the game. Yeah.
Like in that Scorsese documentary, he just made up a person that didn't exist, and then he didn't tell anyone which person it was.
That was it. Done.
Or the previous Dylan film where he was played by like Kate Blanchett at one point.
Yeah.
And now people are here like, oh, I think actually him and the character that Sylve's based on had broken up by Newport Photo Festival. It's like, yeah, he also wasn't Timothy Chalamet, right? You know? Did you aware of that?
Yeah, you're aware of the logic of a film. Are you aware of what that entails?
You know, the bit when he's actually like in his bedroom, there wasn't actually a film crew there. So they had to recreate it, unfortunately.
Yeah, there isn't any evidence of what exactly happened in the bedroom at that point in the 60s. Yeah, probably not. Did you enjoy Timothy Chalamet?
I thought he was excellent. I thought the songs were really, really good. He did really well.
He sung them all, right?
I believe so. He also plays.
He's got the album
really well.
actually.
Someone I know can basically complain, which I think is a legitimate complaint, that they were like, it just really annoyed me that the script meant that like Bob Dylan like just was really uncommunicative and was like really like annoying. And I was like, unfortunately, that's just a very faithful recreation of what Bob Dylan's like.
That's called accuracy, actually.
But no, I think Timothy's great. And he's been nominated for an Oscar for Best Actor.
He has, yes.
And I think the film's been nominated for Best Picture or something.
I believe so, yeah. He picks up a lot of awards.
I don't think it deserves that. I enjoyed it. But I think he probably does deserve Best Actor. Because genuinely, Timothy Chalamet is a very like well-known face.
Yeah.
You watch a film and you're like, there's Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
You're watching June, you're like, there's Timothy Chalamet.
He's a leading star in
you
Hollywood
were just
now.
like, oh, there's Bob Dylan. There he is.
That's great.
I mean, that's what you want.
Congratulations, Timothy. I'm sure you're listening.
And I'm sure equally, when you're watching A Better Man, you're like, there's Robbie Williams.
There's Robbie Williams. Yeah. I'm stunned that the CGI monkey is not nominated for any Oscar.
It's Chimp, right?
Is it a chimp or an ape? It's a chimp. Yeah, it is.
Which is an ape. So it's not a monkey.
Okay, right. Okay, it's a chimp. All right,
Come on, mate. It's not a monkey.
Well, it's a monkey. It's the monkey film.
Yeah, but it's not a monkey.
It's a monkey man. It's the monkey film.
Yes, but it's an ape.
Right. Okay. It's we'll agree to disagree on this one. On the exact nature of the leading star. Very different movie probably to the Bob Dylan one.
Could be the same.
It could be the same. I'm going to be honest. One of the best times I've ever had in some sort of cinematic experience. We're talking Robbie Williams. We're talking the hits. On paper, the idea of a film which is Robbie Williams' life recreated by
Jamie's flatmate Sam Tucker's just walked in with sunglasses on, vaping.
And he's loving it.
So if anyone has a flat that Jamie can rent, he will be moving out very shortly.
It's actually quite a similar portrayal to the chimp in the Better Man movie.
It is.
Actually,
yes,
he retains a lot of that kind of like nature. The film is great. The film is bonkers. It's nonsense.
I mean, we're just going to have to play a song and relocate because,
Yeah.
There's an ape in the room, vaping.
There's vape in the air. And we don't know what that means for us anymore. Incredible movie. Go and see it. It gets very emotional in a bunch of times. And I never thought that I would maybe nearly tear up to a monkey singing Let Me Entertain You.
Nearly tear up means you were bawling your eyes out.
I was bawling my eyes out, yeah. It was an absolute disaster. You should have seen it. We're going to play from that soundtrack.
From the Complete Unknown soundtrack. We're going to play Rock
DJ right now. We've relocated.
We have. Now we're in Jamie's room and there's nowhere to sit apart from on the bed. So
which I'm kind of just laying on and you're just kind of standing.
It's not great.
It's a little bit alarming.
Just by Jamie's handheld garment steamer.
Yep. It's in the box still,
It is.
so that's an alarming development. Would you like a seat?
No. Let's carry on. And the squalor.
Yeah, that was Rock DJ, Robbie
That
Williams,
was.
from the Better Man film, which I would say is a better film than the Bob Dylan one, but I haven't seen the
You've
Bob Dylan
seen
one.
it. So that's the problem, Jamie. And I haven't seen the other one, so we can't possibly
Yeah.
work out which is better. Bad Bunny went on Hot Ones.
Yes.
And he was really
So
bad at it.
some more nonsense news
Really
from the
bad
week.
at being a bunny.
Are you a fan of the Hot Ones show?
I used to be.
Are you a chicken wings guy?
I like chicken wings. I don't care about the thing. Is with the spice thing, you do get like people being a bit weird about it. The
What do
best
you mean? Like
ones-
people who like
who are like, I don't even care. I
Yeah.
don't care. It's like, mate, you're just eating some chicken. Like, it's not. It's like not tough. Like, even if it's like hard, you know what I mean. It doesn't make you like
Yes. Yeah.
strong.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you're just like, it's like, oh, I can beat that.
But the good ones,
Yeah, I
like
don't need it.
when Shaq went on it,
Mm.
Conan O'Brien.
These were good.
There are some where people do just lean into like the fact that they're like, this is fucking horrible.
But here I am.
Conan O'Brien goes insane on his.
Was it the one with DJ Khaled where
Yes.
it almost looked like it nearly killed him?
Yeah, or the Lil Yachty one where he had like one wing and was like, it's too spicy, sorry.
Well, in a similar vein.
Yes, Bad Bunny claimed that the reason he basically he said that they're so spicy, but they're really good. But he was like, the thing is, I'm worried about my colon. So he's like, no, it's not that they're too spicy.
Why is he? Oh, so he's finding an excuse. That's what
It's
we're looking
not
at
that it's
here.
too spicy.
Yeah.
I wish I could eat all those delicious wings, but I have this problem where I shit myself.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is like the good excuse.
That he thinks it is,
Yeah.
maybe. He gave it a go, and then he said, I should have asked my doctor before this shit. I think I will be at the bathroom the whole trip from here to Puerto Rico.
Yes,
Apparently he then, this can be watched online.
you can. Yeah.
But he was given some ice cream to apparently which he got really happy about. When that sounds nice, and he said, "Is this coconut? Best idea ever."
Great.
But
Really
then
interesting stuff.
he immediately tapped out.
Yeah.
So he.
Would you enjoy going on Hot Ones, Jamie?
I'm relatively good with spice on chicken wings.
The thing is,
I'm a fan of
I'm
chicken
relatively good with spice,
Mm.
but like I honestly don't know what we're dealing with. You know what I mean?
We're dealing with some intenseness.
Yeah, but most people do seem to get 4 or 5 in before they're like, oh, this one's spicy.
Mm.
So it's like, I mean, also like, how bad are they going to be?
Yeah, you say that though. In the flat that we are currently in right now, we've actually got 4 like spicy sauces over there, and one of them was extreme hot. Now I don't know what the level is compared to the things, but I had it and I genuinely thought my eyes were going to burn.
Yeah, this is the thing. But then also like they have the last one and they're like, oh my God, I'm dying. And then they're like, oh, now we're doing the last dab.
Now
and then they're always just
the kicker.
fine after that one.
Yeah.
After that one, they're just like, all right, cheers. Yeah, my film's coming
My
out.
film's coming out next week. Yep, see you in a bit, mate. Like, I think I would enjoy it at the start, and then I feel I would then be like, this is quite bad. I once tried some like chili chocolate. So in a day job, we were sorting out some different chocolates for an event.
Right.
As you can see, this is what the other side of the music industry is that I deal with this.
You deal with chocolates.
We were given 3 different like flavors. One was like quite tepid, so I had like that. That was fine. The second one, so not the like intense one, I was just incredible. I was destroyed for the rest of the day.
Yeah, but the thing is with chocolate, like it's not meant to be spicy.
No,
And the spice is internal. You're chewing the chocolate, whereas
you're
chicken
chewing
wings,
the
I don't
spice,
think
I guess, as
yeah.
well. Yeah.
Anyway, I think I'd quite like to go on it, but also there's this weird thing where like, because you go on it and you're eating and then you get to really spicy ones, and then he's obviously there like you're like dying of spice, and he's there like, is it true that in 2016 you accidentally raised funds for the far-right party in Italy? And literally all the time they're like, I can't see.
Yeah. Then he gets you on like an incredibly well-researched and like, intense question. I'm still like, come on, mate.
Yeah. I also think that man's insides must be in ribbons. Sean's the guy who does it.
Oh God,
that's his
yeah,
whole
yeah,
job.
yeah,
His whole
yeah,
job.
yeah.
Crazy.
Either he's incredibly good at it, or he is truly in bits.
Well, sometimes he pretends, doesn't he? Sometimes he's like, "Oh no, yeah, I'm right there with you. It's really spicy." It's like, oh, grow up, mate. No, you don't think it is. Anyway,
we're gonna play a Bad Bunny song.
we
now.
are, and then it's time for our chat with the wonderful jasmine.4.t.
Yeah, so join us after this.
Towards the end of that chat,
Yes.
Jasmine mentions a fundraiser for a friend who is currently imprisoned. That should be
in the description, yes.
or bio or whatever.
Yes. It'll be on it'll be on the Dork website and it'll be in the bio.
Yeah. So it will be accessible if you are listening to this.
Yes. So please go
give generously.
Yes, please go and donate. So we'll be back.
Also, a lot of first names used in this chat, which to refer to the people from Boygenius.
Yeah.
Just to say, Jasmine.4.t obviously signed to Phoebe Bridgers' label.
Album
I just realised
as well by
as we were listening back, there's a lot of references to like, oh yeah, Lucy did this.
Yeah, like, Phoebe.
Yeah,
did
that's
this.
not just any Phoebe.
Yeah, so there's a lot. There's also some exclusive stories in there.
There are. Anyway,
so
it's coming up right now, so you have to listen to it no matter what.
Yeah.
This is what Bad Bunny song are we playing, Jamie?
We are playing. It's called Nueva York. So it stylized as a Nueva York, which is actually translated as New York.
Wow.
Yep. Welcome. We're a global podcast. This is Bad Bunny with Nueva York.
Yo estoy en la mía, no tengo adversario. No, con los Yankees los muevo en soto. A correr que otra vez.
We're back. We're back, everybody. But don't worry, it's not just me and Jake now.
I think we do this every time.
I do exactly the same,
switch,
rambling bait and switch. Yeah. We're joined by Jasmine.4.t. Jasmine,
Hey.
How are we doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Thank you very much. I'm just at my girlfriend Tasha's apartment in Zurich, and it's pretty sunny here. I think I'm pretty lucky because I think it's pretty windy where you are right now.
It is sunny, but I went outside and it was like being punched in the face by Mother Nature. So yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag, to be honest.
Dude.
So you're missing out on that, but I'm sure you'll be okay.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Like, if you're okay with avoiding this, then it's completely understandable. How is Zurich in general? I've never.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool place. Like walking around, there's like a lot of very cool anarchist graffiti.
Nice.
There's like a small but like very cool trans and queer scene.
Nice.
It is like kind of like conservative and normie to a point. Like I wouldn't like I've had a bit of hate crime like on the tram here, like on a Friday night sort of thing. So I wouldn't recommend that.
that part wouldn't recommend about Zurich.
Yeah.
That's
No,
understandable.
exactly.
Yeah.
Getting hate crimed is like at the bottom of the list.
Would avoid. Ideally.
Yeah, exactly.
Would avoid.
But yeah, no, generally it's a very chill place and very beautiful.
For all of our listeners in Zurich, which I'm sure there is.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. I've heard we're big in Zurich, so this could be a real, watershed moment for us in breaking through to a wider audience. So
I'm actually really big in Zurich.
Yeah. No, only there, like specifically in the country. There, that's the kind of vibe. How's it feel? This is a big. We're in the midst of towards the end of a big week for you, obviously, with You Are the Morning being out in the world.
It's nuts, yeah.
How's it kind of been this week? Kind of like finally this, I guess, body of work being out there and people being able to listen to it all.
It's been completely nuts, to be honest. Like this has been it's been because we recorded this in December 2023, in the first 2 weeks of December 2023.
Wow, okay.
So it's been a really long time coming.
Yeah.
You're like, come on. Like, it's been a while.
Various sort of changes to like the rollout. But that's cool because it meant that I got to put out a whole bunch of singles last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, like honestly, like I was not expecting this reception. Like it's gone so well. It's going so well. Like I literally just texted Phoebe this morning being like, what the fuck is going ridiculously well? Like I was not expecting this.
That's a pretty good person to be able to text that kind of thing, though. If anyone's got experience,
yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, Phoebe has been like so supportive throughout this. Like we've just been texting quite a lot, especially since the record came out. And just the reviews have been incredible, but like the best thing for me has just been I've had so many trans women from around the world like DM me telling me like how much this has helped them, because it's obviously like such a shit week to be trans anywhere in the world you know. But like, you know, in the UK, we've just had this bill get passed by Wes Streeting which bans puberty blockers for trans children. And then, like, obviously in the US, Trump has come in and signed this executive order to, like, somehow try and sign the trans away.
For in the term like that,
and like it's obviously ridiculous because trans people have always and will always exist. But I think like these kinds of things will have a big impact on like oppressed groups of trans people, including trans prisoners, and you know, will have a huge effect on like healthcare and like rights for homeless trans people. So like, yeah, it's a really terrible time. But I feel like this album has kind of represented a huge piece of hope for a lot of people. Like when I was writing it, I was going through a really shit time. I was like, you know, I came out as a woman, like 4 years ago now, and it went really badly, and my marriage ended. I lost my home. I was homeless for a bit and like sleeping on my friends' sofas up in Manchester. And I eventually moved to Manchester and sort of like found my feet. I fell in love with trans people for the first time and found community and found my chosen family. And that's sort of the period that I wrote all these songs in. And so it is like, they are very sad songs, and a lot of them sort of really address kind of the issues that trans people face, you know, just the issues that I was facing at the time, but that are very common for trans people, like homelessness and street violence and harassment, mental health issues. But then like that also imbued with this sort of feeling of hope, because I was kind of recovering from all of that while I was writing these songs as well, and working through it. And these songs were kind of how I was processing that. And then, you know, in a lot of these songs, I'm kind of imagining this future where I kind of I'm healed, and to be like recording this and then releasing this in this like crazy future where I am like having some kind of like artistic recognition, and like to be working with like the members of Boygenius, and to be like in this band of trans women and touring the world. It's it must feel it's a happy ending.
Yeah, I was going to say, it must feel so incredible to have gone through all that and release it, and it be connecting with people that kind of seem to be maybe where you were a couple of years ago in that place. It's kind of a nice full circle on that.
And I feel like it's such an honor to like be that role model and that hope for these girls who are just at the beginning of their transition.
Yeah. And I guess it must also be like when you're almost putting this album out, like you say, that it has this kind of, it was born, I guess, from this place of, you know, at times incredible pain, but also like kind of building kind of from that, and kind of like learning kind of like, I guess, I don't know, in a lot of ways to like, you know, self-love and love within like the community as well. Like, has it been like, I don't say like hard to listen sometimes to some of those songs, but like, is it always quite, you know, you're reminded and you're taken straight back to like that moment a little bit?
I think with some songs more than others, definitely. For example, New Shoes is actually a song that I wrote before this period. It was a song that was on my debut EP, Born Through, that came out in 2019. And I wrote it about the relationship that became my marriage. And I wrote it at the beginning of that relationship. So Lucy, I performed it with Lucy on tour. I opened for Lucy around Europe for her second album tour. And it was one of her favorite songs. It's called New Shoes, and it's kind of about being worn out but from like supporting others, but still wanting to go forward and forge a family. And so like trying to. Lucy was like, I really want us to re-record that song together. For your record, and I was kind of like against it to start with because I thought it would be so painful to sing that song while I was processing divorce. And but it kind of grew on me after a while, and it eventually became more about forging a chosen family. And that's kind of what we were doing in recording this album. You know, me and my bandmates and the people who are supporting me. And but even like in the vocal booth, I couldn't get through a full take without crying. I kept thinking about my dog that I lost in the divorce, and I was just so heartbroken. Like at the end of the take, I just fully broke down, and like my bandmates and Lucy and Phoebe and Julian all came in and hugged me. And you can hear that at the end of the track. And Lucy wanted to take that out, but I was like, no, we should just leave it in because it really represents that feeling of care and family that we really like created, that environment that we created in the studio recording this. So yeah, I don't think I would ever be able to perform that one live, to be honest. It's too painful. But then like other ones, like for example, Guy Fawkes' Tesco Dissociation is such a dark song lyrically. It's a song about killing yourself in Tesco. It's so fucked. And it's like but like it's manic and it's like deranged, but it's also hopeful because I was writing it while I was doing this trauma therapy that's called eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, or EMDR therapy. And like I was very lucky to be able to access that through like I have like this health insurance for my work that covered it, which is like wild because like, it's so hard to access. But yeah, like that really helped me sort of find hope for the future. And, you know, when I wrote that, it was like a few weeks after the event and I was already sort of processing it and starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Even though I was still having these intrusive thoughts of suicide, etc. So when I wrote the song, it was kind of like hopeful and manic and also dark when I first demoed it. But then like, we kind of hammed it up so much because we had this manic energy in the studio. We recorded all of these songs in 12 days, which is like nuts.
So you've just gone in straight and you've gone, right, okay, 12 days, we were like, let's go.
Yeah, we were so sleep deprived by the end of it, like when we were doing all of these vocal takes. And so that's like why you can hear like me and Phoebe like chatting to each other about like the banjo. At one point I'm like, ride 'em, cowboy. And Julian was I think Julian was the only person who heard it in the live room and just like marked it with the engineer and like the engineer to keep it in.
I love this idea of you
about that. But like I think again, like it kind of captures like, you know, it just reminds the listener that here we are in the future that I'm singing about. That I'm writing about in the song, and like I just wanted that to like be this kind of deranged but also very hopeful like ending to the story, you know.
It's like that.
I love the idea. of you doing 12 days in the studio, then having like a good night's sleep and having to listen back, like, God, I hope this is good and I wasn't just like completely.
Yeah,
I mean, it definitely, you know, as an outside observer, like it doesn't come across as something that someone who had no sleep in 2 weeks had made. So
no, honestly, actually, you know, there's this like double chorus at the end of Guy Fawkes' Tesco Dissociation where me and Phoebe are kind of like shouting the lyrics.
Yeah.
We stayed really late in the studio that night, and we tried this thing where we like sped up the tape for that second repeat of the chorus, just so brilliant, sort of deranged vibe, and we were like, "Oh, this is genius! We'll like speed it up so it's like higher pitched and faster, and it'll just be like amazing." And then we came back and listened to it, and the body were like, "Nope."
And we've gone over the edge.
Yeah, no, I completely forgot about that. I haven't mentioned that in any interviews till now, so that's a Dork exclusive.
That's it. The big scoop from this interview.
Yeah,
as we delve into sleep deprivation,
release the tape. Yeah. Come on, release the tape.
We know it's out there somewhere now. That's it. I mean, yeah. We have to, I mean, that's like kind of that recording, like, process, obviously sounds, a very blistering run, but obviously I think very cathartic in a lot of ways. And also very, I don't know, kind of like, almost like vital kind of like at that moment for yourself. But I guess like as a whole, being in the studio with, obviously 3 people who've worked on so many records and have done so much, like, was it how, like, I guess, like, hands-on were their kind of like impacting kind of like your music?
Fully,
yeah.
Like, I mean, like, you can hear, like, listening to the record, especially if you like compare it with my debut EP, like it's you can really hear like their individual like fingerprints all over it, but like I think also just like the Boygenius canon feels like it's really played a part in it. And like I've already mentioned Lucy had a huge part of like editing and like sequencing the album. Lucy created this incredible table of all of the tracks and all of the different instruments and everything, so we could keep track of what we needed to do and like keep us on time and like make those kinds of decisions. But then also like just going really in on the lyrics and everything. I remember like the title track "You Are the Morning" was really long and wordy, and Lucy just like cut out whole sections and like or even just like removing a word from a line to just like enhance the meaning. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like stuff that maybe you wouldn't think
no
of,
exactly
just someone else's perspective kind of like
exactly. And also just like that thing of like something that I would never think of, guitar tones. I'm always just like, I'll just stick it through a fuzz pedal into my amplifier. It'll be all right. But then like Julian Baker has such a brain for guitar tone. Like part of like the routine of recording with those guys is like Julian's tone quest. And it like takes like an hour at the beginning of each like guitar session. Just like selecting pedals, selecting guitars, selecting amps, selecting microphones, just like building the signal chain in the control room. And it's so fun and it's so cool. It's something that I was never interested in before. But just like Julian was just like info dumping about like just like the amplifiers and the pedals, and I was just like so fascinated. I have like so many videos of them. Just, like,
I love this image of this like music summer camp.
Exactly, it was amazing. It's like boot camp. It's incredible. But then I think like Phoebe like obviously was like in the driver's seat as like the label owner,
the label boss, the exec in the room. Finally,
his head was on the line, and like honestly, like, but like also just like her support throughout the whole thing, and just like her decisions. Like it was her decision to bring in the trans chorus of Los Angeles, and like there were moments where I was just like really struggling. I was going through a lot at the time as well, and like. I was having to like take breaks and like go up to the roof and like write songs to like process all I was going through at the time. And like Phoebe was like incredibly like emotionally supportive as well. But then obviously like the Phoebe also just like the like I think probably is like the main voice throughout the album, obviously on Guy Fawkes' Tesco Dissociation, but like also like leading me in like choosing harmonies. Phoebe has just like an incredible ear for harmonies, like use of pedal notes that I would never choose, and stuff like that. And it's very distinctively Phoebe. But then just also just like the way that they work together as a hive mind is so cool. Like there were moments where they were all recording together, like around a single microphone in the live room, and just watching them choose their harmonies and like work together. And like there's like a moment where like Julian just like stops the recording and goes like, you know what? It should be chromatic from that point. And everyone's like, yeah. Man. But they did.
You were just there like, cool guys.
No, exactly. It's like they all share a single brain when they're working together. They've like obviously worked together so much and they're such close friends. And it was just like an honor to see that like live in progress. It was and on my songs as well. What the fuck? Like
I guess that's it as well, isn't it? It's like this all kind of in a way that is just like really like, I don't know, like amplifying like you and building like and then kind of there to kind of like bring out the best in you. It must have been quite just all very surreal to kind of like see and be surrounded by that as well.
And it wasn't just them. Remember, like it was like all of my trans femme bandmates from Manchester. We had like trans session musicians coming in, like Bobby Gruska, who's a trans guy who plays the drums. It was his first session as like Bobby, which was like so beautiful. And then like we had Vixen's Diary, who's this incredible bassist and guitarist. She's playing bass on the record, and Addie Watkins, who's like an incredible solo musician in her own right. And just and obviously the choir, like just like it's so cool. And then we had like this moment in Best Friend's house where we just had like a bunch of people visiting that day, including Becca Mankari and ER Fightmaster, like two musicians who I really look up to. And like all of the band and those guys and the members of Boygenius all came into like the vocal booth and just like sang the chorus around one microphone. And that was just like such a beautiful moment. And like just to think just like all of this is just like carrying me, but this whole project and this whole, like worldwide, like deeply required moment for trans representation. It was just it felt really like a moment in history, you know.
That's amazing. And I guess from here now, like following like that as well, like, and obviously with the album now out there and like you say receiving these messages from people and obviously getting out there and playing shows, like do you have this kind of idea of like this ambition wise where you want to go next? Like is that something like already kind of like stirring in your mind? Like
I mean honestly I just want to like survive this year.
I was going to say this feels like an unfair question, like a week on when you were saying before we recorded that you need to do your tax return, for Jamie to come out like, so I assume you've got huge plans, right?
Oh my god,
get planning, guys.
I mean, so I'm playing in the US. I'm going to South by Southwest, which is like a huge deal. We're playing like a huge bunch of shows. I don't know if I'm allowed to announce what we're playing just yet, but we have some really, really cool showcases planned. And then I'm going back to the US again in April and May to open for Lucy on tour around the US and Canada. So that's going to be amazing. And then touring in the UK and Ireland. When I get back at the end of May and the beginning of June, and then playing a whole bunch of festivals in the summer.
So just a few things there, just a couple of things.
Exactly. And then like some more very exciting things later in the year that I can't mention just yet, but I'm fully manifesting, and I feel like it's just going to be huge. But obviously it's a terrifying time to be like going to the US as a trans woman. Luckily, like my incredible manager Jen Long has been taking such good care of me, and like I have like complete faith in her to like keep me safe. She's coming with us to South by Southwest because, like, you know, it's for trans women like entering a pretty hostile country right now. So yeah, we'll you know, we're hoping for the best for that, but you know, we've all got each other's backs anyway. Should anything happen, like we're such a tight knit family. Like touring as a group of trans women is like incredibly stressful sometimes and like can be dangerous. Usually we tour with like, so when I first moved to Manchester, I met this incredible queer woman called Julia Trott, and I stayed on her sofa for 2 weeks, and like we're kind of each other's moms at this point. Like I call her my daughter, but sadly, like she's recently been imprisoned on remand for allegedly taking part in dismantling an Israeli weapons factory, and we've just found out that even though she was imprisoned a few months ago now, her trial isn't going to be until September 2026. So as she's being held in prison in terrible conditions until then. And usually she comes on tour with us and like is kind of our protection. And like she's got it between me and like violent people, handsy people, like more times than I could count. So it's kind of terrifying touring this year without her. So yeah, that's like tough, but I'm just like really relying on the people around me, my band, to keep me safe, because you know they know that I'll keep them safe as well. And we're, like I said, we really are a family.
Having that it's like that family bond like around you, and coming from it, I'm sure you have many amazing memories and shows and crazy things going on, especially as this album gets them all.
I'm sure it'll be a massive deal for a lot of the people going to see you as well, in, like you say, a place that feels quite hostile at the moment. Like it's going to be a nice safe space for a load of people that have resonated with the album as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like I think that's something that like I'm hoping for as well, is that, and actually something that we've already seen is that our shows, like create community, like people meet each other and like trans people meet each other and like find those community bonds that have been so healing for us as well. And like we've met so many incredible trans people at shows as well. And just like, it's incredible to just like be a part of that and to see that happen.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to listen to one such track from that album now. This is Elephant by jasmine.4.t.
We'll be alone, but we'll be safe from what we say. By myself, I see you looking, I fall in your eyes, and then they read me like a book. But I'm not that, but I can still see the way you hold your hand.
And that was Elephant.
Can I just ask before we move on? Is it true that you introduced Lucy to the concept of Greg's when supporting her?
I'm so glad that this has been picked up on.
Can you please elaborate? What was the reaction? What was the order? You know, come on, give us the details. This is really why we scheduled this interview. This is what we want to know.
I think it was a veggie slice. Like I think this was like pre like the vegan steak bake. I think so. It was like the first stop after we picked up the tour van, and it was somewhere like, I think it was like the service station just outside Oxford.
A very illustrious place to be taking someone straight off the
plane. Like Banbury Services, whatever it is.
Shout out Banbury.
And I think I had a vegan sausage roll, and I think Lucy had like the veggie slice, which was like the precursor to the vegan steak bake.
Yeah, amazing. And
what was
reaction
the
was good.
She loved it. She loved it, and we actually stopped at several Gregs on that tour after that. So yeah.
Anyone from Greg's
it's one of the few things in this country that I can be unironically proud of is Greg.
Same. Honestly, same. Like, it's not on the BDS list. They have like good vegan options.
Exactly. Like, obviously issues with any huge corporation, but as far as they go, I think Greg's, fingers crossed, remains on the good list.
Yeah. For now.
Don't let us down, Greg's.
We've got our eye on you, Greg's. Yeah. We will stop buying those vegan sausage rolls if you put a foot wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
we will be there. Oh, from Greg's to, I mean, Greg's is something you'd have in the morning, right, everybody? So this falls nicely onto. we're playing it. We're getting to the game section. That's exactly what's happening. Yeah, I was going to try, and I was like, "Did you know?"
I mean, yeah, like sometimes I will go out to my car first thing in the morning and like just like hoover up any Greg's crumbs and eventually maybe even find a leftover vegan sausage roll, which would make my breakfast.
So you're saying you're kind of like a human pigeon?
I'm not saying I'm not going to deny or confirm that.
Okay.
I do have an affinity with pigeons. Recently I got my nails done and a pigeon landed on my knee to like look at my nails.
Wow.
And then shortly after that we shot the music video for Elephant, which just played. Yeah. And several pigeons came up to say hi to me and feature in the music video.
Amazing.
Yeah, I also have a papier-mâché pigeon helmet that was made for me by my best friend Han.
I did not know this would be such a rich seam to mine.
I fucking love pigeons.
The pigeons are drawing in ever closer.
Yeah, well, like pigeons were domesticated by us, and we kind of like turned our backs on them, and that's why they like hang around cities because they miss us.
They do. That is the scientific explanation. They miss us.
It's true.
They yearn to have a message tied to their leg and sent off to no man's land.
Yearns. Jake, do you want to explain the game that we're playing?
Yeah, so we try and theme these around songs and albums. This one is relatively loose. So basically, your album has the word morning in it. And therefore, we're going to ask you, we're going to give you a couple of options and ask which one you would rather be dealing with as soon as you open your eyes in the morning, which one would set you up or possibly not set you up for the morning. So, would you rather wake up to a Vegas lounge singer serenading you or a mime acting out your daily routine?
Obviously a Vegas lounge singer. What the hell? Like, mine's terrifying to start with. But yeah, I feel like, lounge singers who perform like on a nightly basis, they're so incredibly like talented. Like they're so well rehearsed. It's always, I always love seeing like, cabaret performers and lounge singers who have just like done the same thing every night for the last 10 years. I feel like it's such an honor to witness. So
what would your song choice be to wake up to?
Oh God! Does it have to be like that kind of vein?
Well, I guess you could pick anything, but it would be sung in a lounge style. So
sung in a lounge. Well, what would like get you out of bed when it was sung in a lounge style? I feel like it would have to be like, I would say like 96 Quite Bitter Beings by CKY.
No, nice. Yes, in a lounge style.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck? Turn left the store. I feel like it could work.
I'm into it. You've unsold.
Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, that
would get me out of bed.
Yeah. You're like, and off we go. That's my day beginning. A strong choice there. How about a world where everyone is a turtle or a world where everyone is a bear?
A bear. Definitely. I love bears. They're my favorite animal. Brown bears are so fucking cool.
Like the big one.
In this, Jamie, would you also be a bear or are you just surrounded by bears?
You would be surrounded by bears.
Yeah, see, I love bears, but I feel like that would be quite a high-risk scenario to be in.
Oh, well, that you could be like,
well, yeah,
mauled and eaten.
Immediately imbued with like social graces of beardom.
I think I think so. Yeah.
So like you're not going to immediately get into a fight.
Yeah. It's not like the bears would suddenly turn around and be like, "Hey, like off we go." I think everyone's like fully involved at that point.
Yeah.
It's all good.
To be fair, it would probably be quite horrible waking up and everyone's a turtle, like not in the water. It was quite a harrowing experience.
If you were in the water, like with everything that's happening in our oceans right now, I feel like it's a no-go.
Microplastics alone, no turtles.
Exactly.
We're stepping away from being a turtle. It's a very strong choice.
Yeah, I feel like bears have a few more years left than turtles do.
Wow, what a nice thought to take with us.
Hey, I'm never off.
Yeah. A next one, Jake.
Would you rather wake up and everything in your flat or home, wherever it is you live, is now inflatable, or everything is now made of cardboard?
Does that include like food?
It does, yes. I'm afraid it does include food.
I think I'd rather eat cardboard food than inflatable food. I feel like it would cause less issues.
What's inflatable food?
I love that you're still eating the food. You're like, well, I won't go hungry. I'll choke the cardboard down. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Well.
Cardboard flakes with cardboard milk. I mean, I'm vegan anyway, so that's basically my breakfast.
There you go.
I was more thinking like inflatable food. Like, is it just like really like puffed up other food?
Yeah,
like
I guess it's not necessarily plastic, is it? It could just be inflated.
Ooh, what? Like, yeah, like, because I guess Rice Krispies are kind of like
exactly,
inflated.
yeah, or like the bubbles in bubble tea, they're kind of inflated.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's. If it's just like bubble tea, then I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah. Bubble tea only. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, my world is now bubble tea.
Yeah, that's it. How about so your choices are an alarm clock voiced by Kermit the Frog or an alarm clock voiced by Marge Simpson off of The Simpsons?
Thanks for clarifying that one, Jamie. Thanks for clarifying it. There's that Marge Simpson.
I think Marge Simpson. Yeah, I feel like Marge Simpson is like a beacon of care. And I feel like, just having her voice there in the morning, grating as it might be.
But
like,
the grating might help. It's an alarm clock.
That's very true. That's very true. Yeah, she could be like, or whatever she says.
Or exactly.
Or whatever her catchphrase is.
Yeah. I feel like she does have like a kind of noise, doesn't she?
Yeah. It's like a murmur almost than anything else.
Yeah. Grumpy murmur.
Grumpy murmur. That'll wake it up. You'll be ready.
Grumpy murmur that cares.
Yeah.
Amazing. Two more.
Time for two more? Yeah, okay. Yeah. How about, would you rather open your eyes first thing in the morning to realise that you have the body of a prawn or the head of a prawn?
Oof. That's a tough one.
Oh. I think the head of a prawn, because then I could still play guitar. Also, like, if I had the head of a prawn, I would be like repping Anomalocaris, which is like Earth's first predator, which is like a really cool animal, and it was called Anomalocaris because that literally means strange prawn or shrimp.
Nice.
Love that. That's exactly the kind of shit I like. We can have you back on the podcast if you're going to give us facts like that.
Oh yeah, my Cambrian paleontology is, I've absorbed all of that YouTube, so.
Absorbed and distilled the whole of Cambrian.
I literally play it when I'm asleep, so yeah, probably.
Wow.
I've just looked up this the first predator, and wow,
Anomalocaris, you mean?
Yeah, there's like a video of someone playing some computer game where there's like an Anomalocaris in it, and it's like, I'm an Anomalocaris, and then the guy's like, what do you do? And then the Anomalocaris is like, I do my best. I feel like that, it is doing its best. It's trying to evolve in like this crazy world of like exploratory evolution.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen this guy before.
Yeah.
But I did work at the Natural History Museum for a year and a half. So
oh, really?
Why. Kind of embarrassing. I didn't know what it was anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, mate.
Maybe there's a reason I don't work there anymore, eh?
Trilobites. I always thought it was like trilobite, but it's trilobite. Like they have 3 lobes.
Lobites.
Yeah, I used to have those. Not sea monkeys, but there's the other ones that they were basically just them, the little guys. Like the modern equivalent of them. You get sea monkeys and they're just like horrible little bugs, basically. I had an equivalent of that. Yeah, which was apparently more closer to a trilobite. I don't know. My dad told me this.
That's so cool.
So, it was still just a horrible little water flea, basically. But, that's life, I suppose.
I think they're amazing.
When you're like 5 and you're like, can we have a dog? And they're like, tell you what you can have. Sea monkeys.
Yeah. No, that was my experience of having pets. I had a hamster called Josh, and then Josh died, and then I got some sea monkeys, and then they were all called Josh. Now my girlfriend's mum just gave me a plushy rat, and it's called Josh. So we've come full circle.
So much going on here.
We have come full circle in.
You've got so much lore on me now.
I didn't expect to know so much about you in just half an hour.
Yeah.
We truly have dived in. But I think our time, unfortunately, is coming to an end.
You promised me 2 questions. That was
Come on, Jamie.
All right, let me find this one. Okay, let's go for. Okay, the choices are: you wake up in the morning. What would you rather be greeted by? The cast of the TV show EastEnders, or the cast of the movie picture Wicked?
Oh my god! I think it's got to be EastEnders. It's got to be EastEnders. I feel like that's just like a bit closer to reality. I
feel like you'd probably get a banging breakfast, wouldn't you? One of them would really cook you up a nice fry up, I reckon.
Yeah, no, I feel like
EastEnders. Yeah.
I feel like that could be a bit more normal. We could sort of have something to relate on. I feel like the cast of Wicked, I just wouldn't even know where to start.
Famously, when you wake up in the morning and come face to face with Phil Mitchell, you think, "Oh, how normal! What a lovely normal experience I'm having."
Well, let's start my day with Phil Mitchell kicking about.
Yeah, cooking me a vegan fry up.
Yeah. I can see it now. I can see
like inflatable toaster.
Yeah, just going at it completely.
And then you have to try and eat it with your strange prawn mouth.
Prawn mouth.
Yeah, developed for consuming trilobites.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, actually, I have another fact about this. Actually, can I just tell you this one?
Yeah, of course.
So like the Anomalocaris' mouth was originally like discovered as like a fossil by itself because it was like the calcified part of the body that was remained, and it just looked like a pineapple ring because it's like this calcified ring of kind of teeth or pre-teeth like organs, and so they thought it was like some kind of pineapple ring shaped jellyfish, and they literally named it after the Latin word for pineapple ring. But then it got subsumed by the Anomalocaris thing, which was like the kind of mandibles that come out of the front of this animal, and it used to pick up the trilobites and shovel them into the pineapple ring shaped mouth.
God, I wish that was me.
Yeah.
Why do I have to use a knife and fork? Why can't I just shovel trilobites into my pineapple ring mouth with my frontal appendages?
We're speaking the same language. Honestly, like I have a t-shirt that has like the various species of Anomalocaris on it.
I love this so much. I love it.
There was no way we could have predicted that we would end up here on this show, and yet tremendous. This is brilliant. This is don't say, people, that you don't learn anything from this show, because everyone has learned more and more now.
Fully,
it's true.
Fully.
Oh, incredible.
No, thank you so much for having me. Can I just like put a little plug in here?
Oh, please. Absolutely. Please plug away.
Thank you. So as I said, my daughter is in prison right now, and we have a solidarity fund for her. So yeah, if I could like send you the link or something and you could share it somewhere, that would be wonderful.
Yes, we can stick it in the description and stuff for the podcast.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. So yeah, any listeners, if you could please donate generously. We're just trying to raise money so that we can support her through visits and through like sending her clothes and books and music. She has a CD player, so I recently sent her Toxicity by System of a Down, which she loves. And also we're just trying to like get some money together to like get her back on her feet when she's finally out in what looks like it'll be 2 years. So yeah, it's really a horrific situation. So if you could really, be generous, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
If you've ever enjoyed any of this podcast, please give some money. And if you don't, and you give enough money, we'll stop. So it's a win-win.
We'll exactly that. Yes, go and do that. Go and look at the description now. The link will be there.
Thank you so much.
So we're going to play Guy Fawkes' Tesco Dissociation as a farewell. Jasmine, it's been a pleasure.
No, thank you so much both for having me.
In a bit.
Compensated and forgiven for all injuries.
And there we have it. That was Guy Fawkes, Tesco Dissociation, and the wonderful jasmine.4.t. Amazing chat. As we mentioned before the chat started, head to the bio to look at the fundraiser that is currently available for Jasmine's friend who's in prison. So any donations, welcome. That'd be great. Should we go on to some new music now, Jake?
Please.
Let's. I'll start us off, shall I? With the return of someone I've talked about on the show before, Chloe Qisha.
Yes, of course.
Who is
your favourite artist.
With a brand new song called 21st Century Cool Girl. Of course, talked about Chloe before with Sexy Goodbye.
Of course.
Which came out towards the end of last year. Part of our hype list as well. Artists I think we're all really, really excited about. 21st Century Cool Girl. Another step.
I would also. I just like to point out, as 21st Century Cool Girl.
Yeah.
The way you're saying it makes it sound like 21st Century Cool Girl.
Oh, not right. Let's flag it now. We're not cool girl. It's cool. Cool girl.
One more time. It's not cool girl. It's cool girl.
The girl you're not calling.
You're not calling
the girl is cool.
The girl is cool.
The girl is cool. Let's just very quickly flag that. It's not this kind of podcast.
It's not
yet, despite
what you may have heard.
This is another absolute just pop banger from Chloe. Everything she's released so far has been amazing, and the level of quality is stunning. And this song is another. What's really great about every single release is it feels, I don't know, it's slightly different to each kind of track that's come before. This one,
that is how songs work.
It has an incredible kind of this almost ABBA sort of style to it. But she does this with this very distinct storytelling kind of aspect that just, I don't know, really rings out. I think she's absolutely brilliant. She's
How is there an echo in your bedroom?
I've not got any soundproofing, I guess.
No.
Do you think I should put something on the walls?
Maybe.
Or on the top of the wall. Hang
some taste the top of the walls.
The top of the walls, otherwise known as a ceiling.
Anyway, sorry to derail you. I just noticed your voice ringing out as you discussed your love of Chloe Qisha.
Chloe explains this song is an ode to my teenage self who treated every day like I was in some 90s rom-com. I love reminiscing on the throes of past teenage romance and the awkward heightened emotions that come with it. As well as growing up and owning your own insecurities and being open and ready to love someone.
Amen to that.
It's an absolute banger. It's another I think she is maybe the most exciting new voice in pop. I think she's
the most exciting
voice in
pop.
Yes. I stand by it. Absolute tunes.
Most exciting.
Absolute bangers. I think she's going to be everywhere. I think if there's any justice, she'll be absolutely everywhere this year. She's headlining a couple of shows in Manchester and London in March. So get down. Going to be absolutely amazing. And I think, things are about to go massive for her. And this is, just another step up. I think it's just such a brilliant pop song. So let's have a listen now. This is Chloe Qisha with 21st Century Cool Girl.
Let's go. We're making out in a bar in Amsterdam. I hate the thought that this could ever end. And underneath the disco ball, these sweaty walls are closing in. Now this could be hyperbole, but I'm afraid I might die if I'm not here by your side. I'll be your 21st.
A very important distinction to make.
And now,
what tune?
My pick for the
on the other end,
most exciting new voice in pop.
on a very different throw.
Viagra Boys are back after 2.5 years, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
With a new single, Man Made of Mint. Man Made of Mint. Man Made of Meat.
Meats. Right,
which is a less pleasant
Man
image.
Made of Mint.
Man Made of Mint sounds quite refreshing.
Like a Colgate man.
Yeah, the Colgate man. Man Made of Meat. It's from their new album, which a lot of people have been saying is self-titled, but it's actually called Viagra Boys.
Boys, yes.
The space is after the R.
Yes, it's an important distinction.
Yes, so it's not technically self-titled.
It's close, I'll give you that, but it's not quite fully.
But I am looking forward to it because they are one of my favourite bands. This song has references to your mum's OnlyFans being made of meat. for not paying for drugs,
being made of
and
meat. Yes,
Chandler Bing.
yes, the
And-
perfect
and
combination.
Flexing his muscles outside McDonald's. And flexing his muscles outside LL Bean to get some free women's sweatshirts.
It's kind of exactly what you want, really, from Viagra Boys. I feel like Viagra Boys are like, it's not that they weren't given like the praise that they deserved when they like were first coming out, but it feels like they're like being more and more like acknowledged for like how good.
Yeah, I mean,
they
basically,
are as a
I
band.
think
It's interesting.
there was a sort of weird disconnect for quite a while, where because a lot of people I know that aren't like massively into following a lot of new bands really love Viagra Boys. And then they played Troxy, which was going to be Brixton, and it sold out so much that when they had to move it to Troxy, they had to actually cancel some tickets.
Yes,
because this was when Brixton was closed. They've announced Brixton this time around. They're always relatively high up festival bills with like a huge crowd. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this album, and also like I think they are just kind of deceptively huge because they just want. I think the reason is that you get with people like this is like if you wanted, I really like Viagra Boys. Oh, they don't have a new album out. I guess I'll listen to something similar. Like, what are you going to?
I feel like they end up getting grouped in with a lot of bands that actually.
Yeah, because people are like in the post-punky thing.
Yeah.
And like,
when actually they're not.
There's
really.
a guy in hot pants playing a saxophone. They are.
You are going to get close. Yeah.
I think also like a lot of that post-punk thing, people are like, oh, it's very dour, and this is kind of the opposite of what Viagra Boys are. I remember they toured with Shame in America, and Charlie from Shame, while I was interviewing them, said that they had this competition where Seb, the frontman of Viagra Boys, would try to do more push-ups on stage. And on the first night, he managed one push-up and then had to throw up. And he was like, by the end of the tour, he was up to, I think it was like 8 or 9 push-ups, but he was still throwing up immediately afterwards.
That's a commitment, by the way. That's a real commitment.
It is a commit to the bit.
Yeah. They're truly committed there.
But anyway, their new album, Viagra Boys, is out April the 15th. And this is the first track from it. It's called Man Made of Meat.
I don't wanna pay for anything, clothes and food and drugs for free. If it was 1970, I'd have a job in a factory. I am a man that's made of meat, and you're on the internet looking at feet. I hate almost everything that I see, and I just wanna disappear.
Meaty.
Minty.
Sorry, just for context, just whilst we were about to restart there, Jake just stood up and just kind of stared as he wandered around the room to pick up a glass of water.
Yeah.
And just kind of looked.
I'm, in the third Batman film, when he's like, time to go mobile.
Yes.
That's me. That's me at this
That's
point.
what I've always thought. I've always been like, that's the kind of
I just
vibe
wanted to
again.
try out the Bane voice. To be honest with you.
Glad we got that in there. Thank God we got the Bane voice into the show, yeah?
Very topical. What song have you got?
I've got another new song, and it's from the band who headlined the 100 Club for Here Comes Your Jan just a few days ago. Swim School are back. A brand new track called Heaven, which feels like it's a proper
song.
It is a proper song.
Yep.
There is music.
Mm-hmm.
And there's lyrics.
And it's very good, too.
And it's very, very good. I think Swim School, obviously, fans of the show, friends of the show.
Fans of the show.
Well, we had a very lovely conversation.
I don't know if they're fans. They just... I don't know if people will remember, but we had a long conversation with Swim School about Jamie's alleged ability to juggle.
Right, yes.
Jamie promised that.
Whoa. Right.
Promised that.
No. Okay, you say it out loud, and then I'll correct
Jamie
this.
Promised that next time he saw them, he would juggle.
Yeah.
Or I think actually might have been next time they played, he would juggle on stage. I can't remember which it was.
Yeah.
They remembered this and said, Jamie, you better be juggling.
They remembered it.
And Jamie, did you juggle?
I was juggling a lot that night. So I was juggling.
Right. Metaphorically. But we wanted physical.
See, that's where I wasn't clear. So maybe next show, then I'll have to bring the juggling.
School, if you are listening, I'm actually as angry as you are, to be honest.
Look, juggling,
frankly, I think it's despicable.
Look, I'm ready to juggle anytime, any place.
Apart from where you are asked to juggle.
But those other things. We were running a very successful night, and swim school were absolutely incredible. By the way, absolutely jam-packed. Mosh
Could have
pits
done
everywhere.
with a juggler on stage, but other than that, they were faultless.
Okay, look, this is okay. Right, if I'm gonna have to juggle at some point, right, okay. Next festival they're playing, get me on stage at them. It's up to you, swim school.
I don't believe
it's up to you. It's now in your court. Anyway, Heaven's really good.
Of people that don't absolutely bottle their commitments. Swim School's new song, is really, really good.
It's amazing. It's like very kind of like, obviously we've heard them over the past year, kind of releasing different tracks and moving between different styles. I saw them obviously when they supported Pale Waves towards the end of last year. And it felt like, live they've become such an absolute force. And I feel like this really captures that live essence really well. It's very kind of like has this heavy sort of like shoegazy sort of aspect to what they're doing. And it kind of feels like they've got this like confidence now, which has obviously come from playing so many shows last year, which they did. This kind of like confidence to like really just like is going for it. It's full of intent. It's very just like sharp to the point. And yeah, I really, really love this. I feel like this is the most complete we've kind of like heard Swim School as they've kind of grown. And this is, a stunning, stunning track. So it feels like they're really finding their form into this kind of clear next step for them. So, love this song. Love the fact that, they're back, ready to go bigger. And I think this year is going to be, amazing for them because it was
Lullabies to juggle too.
Very Lullabies. That's what the album name is. Yeah. But this is an amazing, amazing tune. Swim School, absolutely brilliant. If you must get down to a show soon.
You
must. So let's listen to this track now. This is Heaven by the wonderful Swim School.
Heaven is a place where everybody juggles.
Ooh, heaven is a place
where everybody juggles.
At the next festival that they play. Yeah. And then I'll be there. And I'm ready. I can juggle. I think this is there's a flaw here that people are assuming I can't juggle. I can juggle.
Let's move on. The moon landings are back.
Yes. The moon landings.
The sort of side project. I mean, I kind of loathe that this is now even because the moon landings are a side project of Fat White Family, but isn't every other band on the planet as well? But this one actually has the main ones.
I was about to say we've got
because there's bands that come up and they're like, oh, they're affiliated with
technically
Fat White Family, and it's like they have the live drummer in it or something.
In that world, we've got obviously there's Fat White Family, but
Warm
Dusha,
Moon Landings, obviously.
Yep. Insecure Men was I think that we have Y.
Y is the new one, isn't it?
Which is another one. So there's many bands. The Moon Landings. It's been a while since we've.
Yeah, it was like 2017. I think.
Yeah, heard anything from this project, but yeah.
And then just out of nowhere, they've come back with a new single. It's good fun. I enjoyed the Moon Landings because I always wanted to enjoy Fat White Family.
Yeah,
a lot of their songs I just didn't like.
That'll do it, won't it?
Whereas the Moon Landings to me sounded like what I imagined Fat Whites would sound like from what I heard of them before I went to see them, and then was like,
right, yeah.
So yeah, Moon Landings. I just think like a lot more fun, a lot more kind of dancey, synthy.
Is it kind of like where is it Feet was the
the Fat White song, Feet, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, Fat White Family in general, and obviously by extension, the Moon Landings. Like Lias Soud is just a pretty weird guy, isn't he? They're all pretty weird guys. So
put it out there.
Anytime they announce they're releasing something new in any of their forms, there is a bit of like, it could be the worst thing you've ever heard on the planet.
Have you read the explanation to this song?
Yes, I have. Would you like me to read it out to the class?
That'd be great. I feel like that's going to be a way for everyone to really get kind of like locked in to what it is. Which is great.
The page would. You're gonna have to read it because I can't remember it by rote, and this page won't load. So
okay. So it's explained as nature left man half finished, unresolved, alienated, lost to permanent exile, unable or unwilling to surrender even to himself. Is it any wonder he grew callous? This is a song about torpor unbound, about the relegation of love into need, about our failure to sum up care. This is a song about justice.
I didn't pick up on any of that, but it is good fun.
It's a great song. It's a really good song. That's what we're trying to say.
So here it is.
Yeah.
This is The Sign of a Man by the Moon Landings.
Good stuff. What a mix of new music.
We're so eclectic.
We're so
you and
eclectic.
I.
It's actually
I mean, I'm not. Both of mine
painful.
from the same kind of realm, really.
Yeah, but different, ingredients in that realm.
Different artists, as is the way of things. Now, for a lot of tracks by the same artist.
Yes.
With I think we were talking about this. We were talking about this before.
Yeah.
The show. I think this is the most embarrassing album name I've ever heard.
What is the album name?
Right, before we get into it, I think it's the most embarrassing versus the level of coolness that the image of the artist is. So this artist is seen as incredibly cool, and this album name is incredibly embarrassing. So it's FKA Twigs' new album, Eusexua.
Yes. That is the name.
Which
Eusexua.
Yeah, we were discussing before. It sounds to me like something Zach Brannigan from Futurama would claim that he has when he tries to hit on someone. Honestly, like it's, and then you because I looked it up as well because I was like, okay, maybe
it must mean you're thinking.
It's just she just made it up.
It's a newly coined word.
Yeah, she made it up. She says. It translates an instance of feeling perfectly at one inside oneself. The Cartesian mind-body split healed over. So you're like, all right, so it's got a bit to it. Alternatively, it might be the moment before orgasm.
So it could mean
it's about shagging.
Right? Is that what we're getting at?
So this is the
here?
thing I think because like
It is about
FKA Twigs,
shagging.
incredibly like cool, like a lot of that like model adjacent stuff. Like she's like a real icon of
amazing,
and
incredible
the
artist.
idea that you
Incredible
would meet
artist.
her and you'd be like, oh, what have you been thinking about recently? She'd be like, I've been doing a lot of I've actually been doing a lot of philosophizing about the kind of Cartesian mind body gap and the idea that the physicality of our being kind of is at odds with the sort of clinical nature of like the mind.
Yes.
And how do we heal that divine? You'd be like, oh, wow, that's really interesting. What do you call that? And then she looks you dead in the face and she says, I call it Eusexua. What do you do with that?
I rate anyone who, is creating words.
I don't rate this word. And also, I'm sorry, but like all the reviews I've read, which like, fair enough, like don't dwell on it. But no one's pointing out how inherently embarrassing the album title is.
Well, you say that. I'm currently looking up a review, which obviously tries to explain kind
Eusexia,
of
yes.
and then
Eusexua,
and then it's just summarized as basically being like, oh, it's about clarity. There wasn't a word for that before. Yeah, but it gives its own
I'm sorry,
name for the.
We should be refusing to take this seriously, I'm afraid. Like every review I read is like trying to define Eusexua. That's beneath us. We shouldn't have to try and define Eusexua.
Can I bring up some examples of other kind of like music created words?
Deserves better than this.
Can I use other examples of music related like words that have been made up?
You can, yes.
And you can, there is obviously zigga zigar.
Yeah.
You good with that? That's just because that doesn't really mean anything.
I have as much of a problem with zigga zigar as I do with Eusexua, which is not much.
Right. Okay.
But I don't remember anyone ever sitting down and writing seriously but what is a zigga zigar? Obviously, it refers to the hedonistic moment when, no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want in a song. Some of my favorite songs have complete nonsense in them. But it's just the fact that no one is even sitting down and being like, why should we take this seriously?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Which I think is partially because FKA Twigs is so known for being cool.
And she's created a word.
People reviewing it are like, well, it must be cool. I must just not get it.
She's given a term to something that, to this sort of feeling. And that becomes the term for the album.
You know when you were at school and someone would sort of try and use a new like nickname or a new term? And it would
out of nowhere. I
love the idea that FKA Twigs is just, they're just like, you know, with her friends. They're like, oh, did you go home with that guy last night? Oh, yeah. How was it? Well, you know that. You know when you're just feeling like absolute Eusexua.
I didn't really.
Do you think? Because if I said that, people would be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, you're right, mate.
If FKA Twigs said it, I feel like a lot of people just be like, "Yeah, right." And under the table, they'd be on their phone, like googling it. Like,
what you think is basically. Twigs maybe should have like introduced it into the vocabulary before. Oh, you don't want the word. You don't want the word at all. You don't want the word at all.
There are some words that sound funny, right?
Right.
Like, for example, like you would never, in a sort of sexual way, I would imagine, use the word willy. Because it's funny. It's a funny word. It's not an erotic word.
It's not. Yeah, it's lost. It's lost.
I'm afraid is more willy,
right? Than profound,
than erotic,
right?
Profound.
Okay, right.
With that in mind, we can discuss the album.
Now
people are going to think I spent too much time talking about that, but I had to talk about it at length because no one else is talking about it.
Yeah. You are stepping to the fore here, basically. Yeah. Would you still have a problem with like Californication, which again is a made-up word in music?
Yeah, that's obviously like complete. Like if Californication came out now, the world should. In the world of social media, I think it should and could come down and take a ton of bricks on Anthony Kiedis and be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
What about Fergalicious?
Fergalicious is fine because I think it's quite tongue-in-cheek.
It's meant to be fun.
It is. It's fun. It's fun.
Okay. All right.
I think that's the problem. Eusexua,
we're giving you the reason. We're giving you the reasons.
Give me the flirtatiousness to it. You know,
it's not.
There's no wink to Eusexua.
For a word that maybe is focused on being sexy, it's not sexy.
No, it's not. It's not necessarily. It's trying too hard to be sexy.
Right.
There's no fun. It feels, to be fair, it feels like a very American thing to do.
Yes.
Whereas I think, you know, like Zigga Ziggar, again, for example, if you said to the Spice Girls, what does Zigga Ziggar mean? They wouldn't try and explain it.
Right.
They'd just be like, oh, yeah, well, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a bad, and also it's a bad word to say. And I would just like to say as well, Eusexua is clearly a play on the term euphoria, which I would argue all of the nonsense she's put that is non-sexual about Eusexua, euphoria applies to.
You could have used euphoria. Basically,
if you feel euphoric, you feel all of that stuff.
Yes, that would. Yeah, you'd be. That's what you'd be feeling.
I just don't think you can just put sex in the middle of a word. Anyway, the album's pretty
down sex boring.
Yeah.
It's not working. Yeah. Busexing.
Well, not even down sex boring. It would be like down sex one with boring.
Coming next week on our Patreon.
Yeah,
that's our after hours.
Should we
show.
Actually, right now that we've spoken about that, like, should we play one of the songs and then we can bookend the album chat.
Okay, we're gonna play "Childlike Things," which is by FKA Twigs. And featuring Northwest.
Yeah, so at some point, FKA Twigs has sat down with Northwest. And said, so this is what Eusexua means.
Northwest, who is... Oh, no, that's just given me the
You've just searched Northwest, haven't you?
Northwest, 11 years old.
11 years old.
Yeah, this is Childlike Feelings. By FKA Twigs and Northwest.
also sorry. Could you actually just turn off Nickelodeon? I'm trying to explain the difference between the mind and the body to you, Northwest. It's very important to my concept of Eusexua.
I think what we're trying to say is, I quite like a lot of this album.
Yes.
And I like FK Twigs. I think FK Twigs is also kind of a she's like an artist.
Yeah,
and
has
carved her own lane.
That this album takes itself too seriously.
That's your okay, right? Yeah, because there's also a lot of fun to be had with this album.
There is, but
there's a lot of clubby dance floor
overwhelming
bangers.
image of it makes you think it's like I actually listen, like just genuinely listening to the album. There's a few songs in it that I'm not huge on, but there are some, some absolute bangers on it.
Yeah,
like, there's some real ones. That you're like, this is a great song.
I really like it's kind of this
also,
like dance floor inspired. Yeah, Eusexua.
Yeah, odd. Anyway,
a lot
I promise I'll stop talking about it now.
I really like there's a lot of like dance floor bangers, but I think this actually relates into the conversation about the album because there are some really fun like dance floor bangers that are mixed with kind of all these different genres and styles, and it works so well.
It does.
And I think like even some of these tracks I genuinely think are maybe some of the best that she's ever put out.
I agree, and I do also think the overarching thing of like which I think is quite big in music at the moment and in like club scene, and that is this idea of like reclaiming the dance floor as like an area of like like a transcendental area where you can sort of give into yourself and not think about like filming and like social media.
You can be like the most pure form.
Yeah, which obviously has also come in with like places like Fabric for years and Berghain who won't let you film things, all of that kind of stuff. So I think there is genuinely a lot to be said about that. But I feel like the angling of it versus the music does make it feel so po-faced.
So like the presentation of it is the issue.
It makes it feel because I think the album in isolation is.
She sounds great. Her voice sounds great as well.
The songs are great, but I think in a world where like Brat has just been released, and obviously that has got that Y2K irony to it in a way that it's not, it's not like taking the piss out of itself, but it is obviously being like, this is a bit sort of retro. This is a bit, we're having fun with it. I think this refuses to let you have fun with it,
and also
then you listen to the singles and you think to yourself like, well, this is fun. Also,
it's important. Like you can have fun and still be like maybe getting across a serious message or a powerful message.
Yeah,
like it does. That doesn't have to be done in such a serious manner. To the point where maybe it's presented in so much of a serious manner that you lose the ability to maybe connect with it as much.
Yeah, it feels to me like the songs are actually quite different to the packaging.
Yeah. The songs
and
itself
I much prefer the album itself. To the packaging.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I really like. I mean, like Room of Fools, I think was like amazing. I think her voice sounds great across this album. Like, it's really great. I also think like sometimes with Twigs, I kind of get lost in. Maybe I get lost in like the presentation of it. I get lost in kind of the worlds of it. And I'm okay, I don't really know. There's a lot going on
and
here.
And the tracks do tend to bleed into each other or whatever. And then on this one, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah,
there's some tracks that don't really work for me on this, but there's no tracks on it that I think like you know what I mean?
It's not,
It's not like, oh, this is bad. It's just like, oh, this isn't my kind of thing. And then the ones that do hit are like top of the game.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And like for a third album proper, I guess, for Twigs, like I think like I think this could really like cut through in a very different way, and also it just kind of shows she's an artist who just does things completely of her own individual nature.
Yeah,
which
it's
album,
amazing. It's album pop rather than singles pop, isn't it? But it's still got singles on it. I did listen to it on the train here, actually, with noise cancelling headphones.
Yes,
so it was just me and the album,
and
at no point did I feel overcome by Eusexua, which is probably good because I was on the Thames Link down.
You'd be arrested, I think, if that technically happened.
And also on a lot of the platforms, the Luton Millwall game was about to kick off. So there were a lot of people trying to get on the,
do you think they were,
the other way.
Do you think they were listening to Eusexua?
So I don't think if they'd seen me experiencing Eusexua, they would have looked too kindly on it.
I think, what we're trying to say with this album is it's a great album. It's got some brilliant tunes on it, some really fun tunes on it. And some of it is the best that, like, maybe we've heard Twigs before, and people are really going to love this album. But it's you have to get into the album first, and sometimes it might push people away before you get close to it. And what we're saying is, get close to it.
Get close to it.
Get close to it.
Just give it a listen.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Just give it, after all that, just give it a listen, actually.
This is Perfect Stranger.
Yes.
From the hit album, Eusexua.
Stranger, so you perfect. You're a stranger, so you're perfect. You perfect me, please. My perfect stranger. You're beautiful, you're worth it. You're the best, and you deserve it. You're a stranger, so you're perfect. You're a stranger, so you're perfect. I love the danger. You're the perfect stranger. I don't know your friends or your
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Great album. Name, well, you know.
Name bad.
You know.
Let's move away.
Shall we get to the web? Shall we get to the bollocks
web.
that's going on the web?
From the web bollocks.
From the web bollocks, whatever is happening here. Some good fun. Over the past couple of weeks, there was some major...
TikTok was being banned.
TikTok was banned for, I think, a few hours.
Yeah.
Is that technically what happened? So I did really enjoy a lot of the farewell messages that were going out from, like, people on TikTok.
Well, I don't have TikTok, so...
you missed out on the joy of people just being like, this is our last TikTok. Guys, it's been an amazing journey.
But also, like,
See you later.
What I found funny...
Auf Wiedersehen, all of that.
What I found funny was, like, there was already a lot of talk about it probably not happening. But even if it was, like, why do a farewell? No one's going to be able to see it.
Yeah,
why does it matter?
They'd have to watch the farewell so quickly.
Yeah. When do you do the farewell? If they say it's going to be shut off at midnight, when do you put the farewell up?
It kind of went up like that, like a few hours before.
Yeah, but when? I think you have to put it up at probably 8 p.m. earliest.
Yeah, maybe like CST.
You put a farewell up at midday, people are like, what are you talking about? You've got 12 hours. Imagine saying bye to everyone at a party and then staying for another 6 or 7 hours.
It's good logic. It's actually a fair logic, yeah. I think that has happened before, though. I think we have both done that.
That's true, but we didn't mean to.
We didn't mean to. We got goodbye and we're over the other side of the room. 12
I
hours
think
later.
the best, I would say, of
the farewell messages.
The farewells that I saw, anyway, was the Dare, who just put up, before TikTok gets banned, I'd like to take a minute to thank the Chinese government for making me a vaguely famous musician. And then the caption is, thank you, Supreme Leader Xi.
What a lovely, wholesome message.
Yeah, and the song is Fame by David Bowie.
Love it. Anyway, what happened basically we're saying is, didn't really matter in the end because then TikTok came back.
It did.
And now it's here.
And Trump proving that he is a complete moron with no grasp of literally anything, and therefore all of his bigoted opinions don't matter. Or shouldn't
matter. Yeah.
He said, why would the Chinese government want the data from the kids enjoying the videos anyway?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, that's good.
Yeah. Welcome to a really fun world ahead.
Yeah. If we could Luigi Mangione Trump, that'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah. This doesn't count as evidence, by the way. Just want to...
No. I mean...
This is,
I mean, be Italian-American.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
This is the Dare with I Destroyed Disco.
You'll never reach my level, so don't chase it. Save it. Wait, does anyone know where the base is? I put them all on suicide watch non-stop. Got them working overtime. Check the clock. Rock hard. Why stop? Don't know, I don't care. What's a blogger to a rocker? What's a rocker to the Dare?
I destroyed disco.
Wonderful stuff. Away from TikTok
and on to Instagram Reels.
We can't announce the platform like that, can we? Ladies and gentlemen, we are on Blue Sky.
And behind door number 2.
It's YouTube Shorts.
It's never YouTube Shorts.
It's never YouTube Shorts. Shout out YouTube if you are listening. We do take the money.
If YouTube is listening.
What's going on here? So Blossoms put up a little reel story explaining the creation of I Like Your Look, which is absolute banger off of their album Gary, which we're big fans of here over at Dork.
Yes, we are.
And we got a little breakdown basically on how the tune came about. And
this one was co-written and featuring vocals from CMAT.
Yes.
So they sort of talk about going to see her and then getting her involved in the writing process.
Yep, they went.
They go to a Airbnb in Wales.
Shout out Wales.
Yeah, to record it. So this clip is basically, 2 or 3 minutes of them putting it all together.
Yeah.
Heavily involving CMAT.
Yeah, talking about like writing songs in like a certain style and how it all came about. And actually, quite good. They actually captured on video the moment where like they basically came up with the album, like the track name.
Yes.
So they were like basically sat around.
But
with
CMAT's
books.
in the driving seat.
Yeah, CMAT was like
telling them to read the book. She's coming up.
Yeah.
She's saying you should do that really early type of rapping that like Blondie does. And stuff.
Not like Rock DJ.
No, not like Rock DJ. CMAT's commented on this video, hasn't she?
Yes, responded.
She's responded to the video and put all this musical confidence, and yet I had no eyebrows. Kind of amazing if you think about it. So
what we're saying is in order for creativity to flow, we should shave our eyebrows?
Yeah, I think that's the thing, because she says, yeah, I have no eyebrows, but I've never written a song as good as I Like Your Look, and I have very large eyebrows.
And you've never shaved your eyebrows?
I've shaved one eyebrow once at university.
Sorry, what? Oh, okay. Look, I don't want to know the story.
No,
were you in a state of Eusexua?
Very close, but I didn't quite get there. I was actually annoyingly interrupted during you foreplay you were.
That's fucking horrendous. Well done on writing this song.
This one might have to go out at 9 p.m. rather than 8.
Oh, this is filth.
yes.
Absolute smut on air.
Yeah. The guess we'll just play I Like Your Look.
Yeah,
Blossoms featuring CMAT, shall we?
Let's play it.
Here it is.
I think your flares are so cute. I like your look. I love that color for you. I like your look. Come get inspired by chicken on style. Louis Vuitton in a factory town. My God, it's only Tuesday, and I'm head to toe in Gucci. Don't get me wrong, I am a strong believer in a hand-me-down. But the February issue goes knocking at my door. It's not my fault.
And that's everything for another fortnight.
Yeah. Thank you to Jasmine.4.t.
Thank you very much, Jasmine. That crowdfunder will be floating around near where
donate.
you currently are.
Please donate. That'd be appreciated.
And once you've donated and listened to this show, you will be perfectly primed for a 5 to 10 minute burst of eusexual feeling.
Don't do that at the Dork Hype List tour.
Please.
You will be removed.
You'll be removed. Any attendees experiencing eusexua will be taken to a safe space to calm down.
Please don't let Welly hear this podcast.
Welly, please do not encourage eusexua at the Dork shows. We don't have a license
for that. Thanks for listening. We'll be back in a couple of more weeks. Until then,
you stay you sexy.